We have been asked, addictions, are they mental? Are they spiritual? Physical? Explain it, please. That's what we're about to do, so stay tuned. There are many kinds of addictions. You have the substance addictions like alcohol, drugs, tobacco. People have what I call mental addictions, like to gaming or doing things with computers all the time or constantly picking up their phone to read social media. And then, I don't know if there's any kind of a thing of a spiritual addiction, but definitely there are mental and physical. The key that people want to know is this truly physical or mental, or is it something that's on a spiritual plane? Honey?
I feel confused because you just said there are these physical addictions and these mental addictions.
Right, because that's how they're classified.
But then you're asking if they're physical or mental after you already classified them as physical or mental.
In the medical world, that's how they're classified.
Oh, that's what it seems.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why
I'm sorry to confuse anyone.
Okay.
In the medical world, that's how it's classified. That's how it's categorized. But the question that has been proposed to us is it really that way? Or is it something that's spiritual?
No, there are also food addictions. There's so many addictions.
There are.
Okay.
There are.
And by the way, just to do my little commercial, on the 190vision.com website, if you go under free, we have these different quizzes you can take. And we have a whole bunch of addiction quizzes. Mm-hmm. So if you want to find out if you might have a certain type of addiction, just go and take the quiz and you'll find out. And from there, you can request help if you want to. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, since I've done my ad, I forgot what I was saying. I was too busy doing my commercial.
Well, I was saying how the question is, are these really spiritual things? Because the medical world classifies them as being physical or mental.
Okay. Well, you know already from what Saint Germain and Moria teach us that everything starts in the spiritual realm. Mm-hmm. By the time you see it in the physical, it's because it already took place in the spiritual. So what do you think my answer is to your question?
It's all spiritual.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's all spiritual. So we can end the video now?
We could. I mean, that's a real plain basic answer, but people will be like, how? How is it spiritual? Why would you say it's spiritual?
Well, we've seen examples of individuals that after one clearing, because the first we do it with anybody that submits a consent form is clearing, right?
Yes.
We do a clearing, and after the clearing, the individuals are fine. Well, why would they be fine? What are we clearing that makes them fine, make them feel fine after one clearing?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yes.
Oh, yes, we're clearing any kind of spirit attachment or possession of some kind or different things that latch onto us because our frequency is low and they decide to hitch a ride with us.
Well, it could also be curses.
Curses, hexes, spells.
Right? Mm-hmm. Negative thought forms.
Oh, yes, negative thought forms.
Right. So these are things that will affect somebody. It starts in the spiritual plane. So what does that mean? Well, let's say for example, and the most common one, well, I wouldn't say the most common because negative thought forms are also very common.
Yes, they are.
If someone wishes something really badly on you, then next thing we know, things are not going so well for you.
That's right.
You know? And the moment we do a clearing, all of a sudden everything is fine. So if someone keeps describing you as an alcoholic, right? Or that you are a lazy person, or that you just eat nonstop, you're a greedy person. Okay? If you're being told that all the time and people think this about you, after a while, you might find yourself just eating uncontrollably, and you don't understand why. Well, all of a sudden, you have this food addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're trying to figure out, why can't I stop eating? Why am I eating all the time? You send us a consent form, we do a clearing, all of a sudden you stop eating the way you were eating before. Everything gets under control. What happened?
Well, the thought form was taken away
Right?
that someone had put on you.
It was cleared. Where was it cleared? Was it on a physical plane?
No, it was
Was
all
it-
done on the spiritual.
Exactly. Normally, it's attachments that cause these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or a possession of some kind. Or like we said, the thought forms, or a curse, or a hex, or a spell. They're the common culprits of these so-called addictions. And the moment those are removed, the addiction disappears. So how does someone become addicted? Well, let's say, for example, you pass a funeral home, or you pass a church, or you pass a cemetery. Or you might actually be driving in your car, and while you're driving, there's a funeral that you pass, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't like those when that happens.
You
But
go past a hospital.
Exactly.
Go past a clinic. A
so
bar.
You're there, and then there's this soul, a lost soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
Floating around, waiting to attach to anyone that has the same frequency as that soul that's passed. That soul attaches to that individual, and the soul that attaches to the individual happens to be someone that was an alcoholic in a lifetime that they just left.
Mm-hmm.
But what would that soul do? That soul will try to influence this individual, now the individual that's alive, to start drinking. Because that's what this soul is used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
So here's someone that normally doesn't drink a lot or doesn't drink at all. Suddenly they start to drink. They start to drink a lot if this is not caught. Before you know it, the person is an alcoholic.
Right.
And they can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
They might be trying to stop, but they're unable to stop. Well, they're unable to stop because it's an attachment that's influencing them to do the drinking. It wasn't them, or it's not them that's intentionally drinking. Once you do the clearing, the attachment is removed by Archangel Michael, taken to where it's supposed to go. Person is healed. Addiction is gone.
Okay. That was very simple. Very good explanation.
Okay. Well, now we go back to the question. Is an addiction spiritual, physical, or mental?
Addictions, from what you just described, all start in the spiritual plane. And then they become manifest here in the physical. The challenge is most people do not know or understand that. But when they come to us and the work is done, they realize that, wait a second, I might have been influenced like they just talked about. I always call those things influencers.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of influencers out there.
So to answer your question, it's all of the above, right?
Mm-hmm.
An addiction covers, it's spiritual, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also physical because that's where it manifests.
Right.
And it's mental because it affects you mentally, even emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it affects the people around you as well, the loved ones that you're with. And so the type of addiction doesn't matter. It's the same scenario for the most part. We have individuals that have smoked, drugs,
Mm-hmm.
vaping, all these things. And now the ones that I've always found interesting are the ones that received prescribed medications. Remember?
That they were addicted to the prescribed medication.
They got addicted
Mhm.
to the prescription. And they came to us, or they've come to us. We've had a few of those.
Yes.
They come to us, and within a day or two, they're flushing down the medication. Like, I'm not taking it any longer. And most of them were painkillers,
Yes.
right? People
Yes.
that were on painkillers.
Addiction to painkillers.
Exactly. And some people don't realize that they're addicted to painkillers. They just keep taking them. Once we find out, then we say, okay, wait a minute. It's up to you, but we can help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to let us know. We're not just going to start, even though we know you're taking the painkillers, you have to let us know that you want help, in not taking them anymore. But I know we received messages from individuals that said, I flushed all the pills down the sink or down the toilet today.
Right, right.
And I feel great, things like that, right? We even have individuals that were being treated for cancer. So they had painkillers too, I remember.
Yes, and they didn't want to take them anymore,
Exactly.
but they felt like they couldn't stop.
And once you did the work, they got rid of those. So I bring it up because prescribed medications can get you to be addicted. You know, so pay attention to that. Like Vicodin, what's it called?
Vicodin?
Vicodin, and some others. I don't know what they are. Morphine?
Oh, yes, some people get addicted to morphine. Yes.
Right. And I remember that one, morphine, and there's another one, Vicodin. There's a.
I don't really recall what those are at this moment in time.
Okay.
Might come to me when we're done with the video.
Right, but there are a few of them.
Yes.
So if you're taking any type of prescribed medication, and well, let me put it this way. I just got this thought. We have a lot of individuals that when they get prescribed the medication, they send us the list of medication and ask if they should take the medication.
That's right, they
That's exactly. So now remember, again, what we give you is guidance. You will decide if you want to take the medication or not. Because we're not trained doctors,
do. Right.
right? I went to medical school, but I dropped out. So that should tell you something right there. You don't follow my medical advice, right? But what we do is we give you the guidance from the Ascended Masters. And then you decide whether or not you want to follow. But many individuals do that now. They'll send us a list of the medications. Will you let me know if I should take this, which ones I should take, which ones I shouldn't, and then we send them the results. Of course, the answer is not yes or no. The
Right.
answer is
The answer is a scale 0% to 100%. 0 being completely non-beneficial, 100% being totally, wonderfully beneficial for you.
and in your opinion, what does that mean?
In my opinion, anything that is 70% and greater to 100, yeah, go for it. Look into that. Do it. But if it's less than 70% and closer to 0, stay away from it. Avoid it. That's my opinion. That's what I do. But you've got free will. You need to do what you feel is right for you.
Okay, so does that cover addictions?
I think it does. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to comment below the video or in the Facebook group and let us know so we can get back to you. Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.